All right, welcome back to another class, another lesson, more knowledge. For all you people that are here for the very first time, or should I say viewers, I don't want to say people. My name is Brian Proctor. I am an art teacher, or I like to consider myself an art teacher because I teach you how to draw, whereas other people show you how they draw. I teach you how to draw. And after you see this video, you will never doubt yourself again about not knowing how to draw because it is so simple. It's right there. It's in your face. It's always been in your face, but nobody really showed you. All right, so let's do this. First of all, A, B, C, D. If you can write in English, then you can draw because you're drawing right there, but you just don't know it. So right off the bat, some of your most important letters are your A, your V, which are cousins. A and V are cousins. You turn it upside down, you just, that's the same thing. You have your E, F, cousins. H, I, always, I is always in there. O, or zero, or some people want to do the oval for the zero. These letters you write where you're drawing them. You write every day and you don't realize how good you can draw by just using them because everything is a shape. And if you break it down to its most simplest shape, then you can draw it. And all you will do is just using your letters. That's all it is. So for example, some people say they can't draw a circle, but you know, if your name has an O in it, then you're drawing that circle. It doesn't have to be perfect. If this is your first time, don't expect it to be perfect. If I sit down today, it's my first time, I want to draw something, I want to pick it up, I'm not going to draw something that, you know, the great masters are going to say, oh my goodness, he's just excellent. No, it's going to be rough, but I'm not going to go run around and show everybody and try to sell it and put it in a frame. I'm just going to say, oh, wow, I can do it. And then keep practicing and practicing. And that's all drawing is just practicing. Same thing for basketball or riding a skateboard or soccer or whatever, playing a piano. It's just practice. How bad do you want to do it? Do you want to stay up all night, do it? You want to go out in the rain and do it? How bad do you want to learn it? So that's all it is. So shapes, everything is a shape. I'm looking for another cell phone, my cell phone. You know, it's a shape. It's just a shape. People look at stuff and then they see like the detail in it and then they're like, oh no, I can't draw that because you're looking at the detail instead of the basic shape. So let's start this. Let's do this. Everything you see, well, I'm gonna say everything, but mostly everything you'll see is usually a square or rectangle. You know, that's just gonna be it. Your phone, your laptop, your tablet, your television, your table, your chair, your refrigerator, your dresser, all of that is a simple shape. I can't draw a square. Okay, but you just did the letter E. Okay, look at this. This is the letter E. Put a line down there. Take that out. You just drew a square. All right, so buildings, another thing, squares, rectangles. Let's just say you want to draw a box. Let's just say this is the top of a box, okay, because that's where it all starts. This is the top of the box, of a box. Okay, so I have a cube right here. So we're going to turn this around by drawing it. Oh, I can't never draw. What is it that when people try to draw the thing like this and then they do this and they can't get it right? They try, it's like no matter because their lines are all crooked. So we're gonna stop that today. We're gonna stop that today. So we have that. So let's do this. Let's do the letter Y. You can do a Y, right? So take a line down here, take a line down there, do a V at the bottom, and then do the letter A at the top. You have a three-dimensional cube. It's simple when you kind of break it down because that's why I taught myself how to draw because, you know, I loved art. I took as many art classes as I could. Once I had enough credits for math and I got out of PE, I took another art class. But what they usually do is they'll put something in front of you and say, hey, draw that, draw that. You know, so the best drawer in that class gets the A and then you get the F if it doesn't look good because they base you on that drawer. They don't base you on, you know, saying, oh, he's got great potential. It's just like, oh, Johnny he's a great drawer, but your son, well, he's not so good. Maybe he shouldn't do art. But as I say, everybody can draw. All right, so we did this. We took the letter Y and we did that. We did that box here. So let's take an H. Letter H. All right, let's put a top on that or top on that. And I did the H because it's easier than doing an E. And if you look at it, you have another two-dimensional because this is your side right here. You have your front of your box and your side of your box. Let's do an arrow. Everybody can do an arrow because when you're young, there's certain things you usually do. Arrow. This is way up. This is the way to the knowledge. So then you can come down, straight down. You're just doing a letter I and an I right there. Now you can do another V with this being in the center. Make that more like it. So then you have another two-dimensional cube shape by just drawing with these letters that you use every day. So I can easily turn these into like buildings, furniture, whatever, because now you know the basics of drawing the cube. So let's do this. Let's say the simple way. It's like the letter A. A and V, remember, these are cousins, and these are some of the most important shapes that you will use to create something. So I'm going to open this up a little wider. That's going to be an A, and I'm going to do that. So I just made a diamond. Now, if you have trouble with that, do a plus symbol. If you like money, you better learn how to do a plus symbol. Like that, like this, like this, like this. And then you'll have it kind of more in the center. And then again, you're going down, you're going down, you're going down. And then you're going to do a V. It doesn't make a difference if one is too long, one's way down there. You're going to do a V in there somewhere. Try to keep it the same shape as that. There it is. It's way so simple. So if I want to turn this into a skyscraper or something like that, then I'll put my windows here. And windows are just rectangles, but I'm just doing ovals. This is a building. This is the top of the building. Erase this. I can put whatever I want to put on top of this. Put a little water tower on top of this thing here. Or I could put a little antenna, little TV tower antenna. And it just shapes. This is your oval. This is your straight line. And this is another A, and this is another oval. Everything is just a simple shape. All right, let's do this O real quick. I'm pulling it off the screen. So let's do this. Let's take this. You have a circle or an O, and let's take a line across it, just straight across that. That's very simple. Now, let's take another O, and you want to take that same line. Let's say this is a ball, right? And you want to roll that ball over a little bit. So this is going to go up, just like that. Now, the thing is, to get this right is the amount of curve you have here, the amount of circle you have here, you have to have that same amount of circle right there. If not, it's going to look wrong. That's the only key to that. It's a simple key. So let's take that ball, and since it's up, let's roll it back down that way. So we have the circle again, and then instead of it going up, it's going to go down. Remember, it's got to have that same circle as that. Now, I'll curve this out a little bit more, give it a little more room. Now, let's go back to these balls, and then let's just say I'll put two circles right there. Put two circles right here, right on that line. Put two circles right here, right on that line. You kind of see where I'm going to. Let's put a little V right here, and a little smile right there. And that's just the letter C turned this way, okay? I just drew a face. Now this face is looking up. So this nose right here, this little V, I'm going to turn it up like an A. And then I'm still going to have that C, a half a C. I'll put this little happy little things on the side of his face. Same thing here. Since he's looking down, this is going to go out. And depending on how much you turn it down, you will see some of the mouth or you won't see some of the mouth. But for this one, you're gonna do the mouth anyway. So now you've just drawn 3 faces looking in different angles. Something very simple. You know, if you have a tennis ball, take a tennis ball, take a rubber band here. You know, don't let these lines get in your way. Take this rubber band, straight. Let's get the name out of there. Straight at you, circle, and then straight across. So you turn it up, it's going up. Remember, see this angle of the rubber band is about the same curve of that ball, because it can't be flat because the ball is round. So if I take it and I turn it down, it's the same thing. I'm trying to get the words that I want to do. Not that I'm not trying to get a sponsorship, but I'm just don't want to be distracted by the words. So there you go. Now you know how to draw a face, or faces looking. You know, if you wanted to, you can put the one eye over here. Let's do another one just because. So he's looking up again. So here's that. So let's put one eye way over here and one eye way over there. Now he's looking sideways and up, and that A, and then that A, or that point, eye here, eye there on that line. Add some ears, some hair. The more detail you add to something, the more realistic it becomes. That's all it is. But right now, I'm just showing you the basics. For all of you who kept saying to yourself, I can't draw, I can't draw. What you are doing is you are programming yourself. Your brain is like a computer, a blank computer. And if somebody says something so much, that's what you're going to hear. It's just like listening to a song. You listen to a song so much, it plays back automatically. Sometimes you wake up, you hear that song just running through your head, and you're like, why is that running through my head? Because you played it all the time. So if you hear something, and I tell people, I said, don't tell your children they'll never make it, or they're stupid, or they're fat, or whatever, because that's what they hear. Oh, I can't do this because my mom always said, I'll never make it. I can't do that. Or she says, I'm fat, I'm fat, I'm fat. So when the time comes for you to try to do something, maybe work out or lose weight, or try to draw something, or get a job, or talk to somebody, your brain is like, hey, you know you can't do that. Don't even try, because every day you hear, I can't do that, or you program yourself, I can't do that. Eventually, you're going to want to learn to drive. If you're not driving, you're not going to say, oh, I can't drive, I can't drive. You're going to say, I don't know how to drive yet. I will learn to drive. Even though you can't really get in there and get on the highway, you know in your brain, I'm going to learn how to drive. So you don't put that block on driving and say, oh, I'll never learn to drive. I'll never learn to drive. You're like, I can't wait to learn how to drive. Same thing with anything in life, not just art. It's just music, dance, even work. I can't wait to get a job. I'm going to be the best employee. So program yourself to do the right thing. All right, let's mess with the A and V again. Let's do a house. This is one of the first things we do when we do a house. We just draw that little square, and we draw that triangle on top. And there's your house, starting with your house, and you draw your door, and you draw a couple windows, maybe a little crooked chimney with some smoke coming out, and then you may draw a walkway coming out of the thing. So right off the bat, that walkway, that's your letter A right there. And that's drawing something in perspective, going back in perspective. You often see the books where they have the train tracks going back. That's just the letter A again, with stuff added to it. So doing perspective is really simple, but it's hard because it's a lot of lines in it. But if you stay as basic as you can, you won't fail. If you put a line through that, then you'll know where your center is every time. So let me give you an example of that. Let me do this real quickly. Turn this over. I go through so much paper. I'm just going to turn this over. Let's just say I do the letter A, a long letter A, right? I'll do a line through it. I'm going to break this line up. You kind of see what I'm doing in a second. So break this line up. You got that? Here's a square here. Let's just do rectangles here, rectangle here, rectangle here, rectangle here, rectangle here. I've got like a highway going on. So at the top of this, let's just do this. And my line right there, and then I'll do some rectangles. And then darken all that. And what do I have? I have a highway leading to a city just by simple shapes. And that's the start of it. Now if I want to put detail to it, as my Alexa going off for some reason, I'll put a Alexa is an intelligent Alexa, stop. I'm gonna call you. Lift these up, so these would be the front of the cars or a truck or whatever you have. Make that longer. Well, one's got to go in and one's got to go out, so just remember that. And then they just get smaller. But the point is, by using simple shapes, you just drew something. And I'm a science fiction fan. I teach comics. If you look at my channel, you'll see that most of it I teach comics, and we'll get into the body in a second. So I can just draw like a large moon right here, the city, over the city, some clouds. Who said this Earth? This could be like Planet 39 or something, some flying saucers over the city. So the one thing I love about drawing is the imagination can just run wild. So just by using basic shapes, you see what I created, a picture. Let's frame this picture. This could be just, a part of a panel in a comic book or something. Or I could just do a big one and just frame it and just color it, get some markers or crayons or whatever and ink it and just make it a picture. But simple shapes, I've just drawn a picture. For all of you that say, I can't do it, stop it. You can do it. All right, so back to the V. Perspective is always going back. It's always going to go back. Now, you take that same V or A, and then there's the A, and then turn it to the side. Now you're going in perspective. And again, you have that center line. That's going to tell you where the center of this A or V is. Just like if I draw a square and I want to find the center of the square, you do an X. That's your center of your square. Now, if I wanted to break that down some more, let's say I wanted to put whatever, a window here or the door right there and the bottom of this, the center of this, and maybe, the window right here and a window right here. And I wanted to keep everything, lined up, balanced. Then you have that with that square. So you can say just doing something else. I can take a line and go right here, straight across. And I say, okay, this is where my windows are going to be, right here and right here. And then it comes out even. So just by using that square, come on, eraser, don't die on me now. You know that. So if I wanted to break down this even more, I'm going to, at the center line, I'm going to go across here. So let me do this in red so you can see this. So I'm going to go all the way across. So now right here, I have another square. So right now I have 4. This one, this one, this one, and this one. Just by doing that plus symbol, basically. So I had the X, then I turned it into a plus symbol. So now I have this. So this already has that one line going through there. So if I put another line going through here from corner to corner, that's my X. Here's my center. I can break it down again. Let's use a marker on this one. This is a small marker. So I can break it down again. So I have my X, and then I'll have my line, center line, and I have my plus, like that. So now I have another square right there. And then I'll put another X, another center line right here, another plus, and then I have another square right there. So you can break that down until you can't draw on the paper anymore. But that's a way to center and always have a square centered. So this is perspective, and we're going to use the, again, squares. We already know how to draw squares, so it's easy for us now. And the same thing with this right here, when I did the arrow. This is going back and this is going up. So if I did a center line right here, you'd have that. Great example. Here we go. We have this. Let's just say I want to do a building, and I want that building in perspective. Line, line, like doing the H. This is the top of my building right here. And then where's that A at? I mean, the arrow. Widen that arrow. It doesn't have to be so skinny like this. You can, if it's like a tall building, it has to go out. But if the higher you're looking at something, the narrower it gets. That's a hard word for me. So if it's kind of a low, you don't want this arrow to be like so pointy like that. You want to bring it out more like that. So here's my arrow, and then here's my building right here. Now I can take this building off of this line because perspective is basically, it comes to a point. If you're doing that V or that A, it's going to come to a point somewhere. So this is going to be the point. This is what's called the eye line. This means if you are standing here looking at this thing, this is where your eye, this is the height of your eye right there. That's what's called the eye line. It's always in the center of your V. So you can bring this down a little bit more. You can have it on flat ground. If I'm doing a building, you have it on flat ground, or you can bring this line down even more, because this is perspective. You're just going to draw a lot of V's. It's just kind of like opening up like a fan, like that. And I can stop this building right here. And it's got to go back. This one's going to go back to this line, and this arrow is going to go back to that. And this one, wherever this is, you can do another upside down arrow, and that's going to go back, and it's going to stop on this line, on this eye line. I'm getting too deep now. I'm just getting too deep, but I'm just showing you how to do this perspective, or how to use shapes to draw. So we have this cube, and again, I can make this into a building or whatever I wanted to do. Window, 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 window. I'm just going to use ovals for window just to kill time. And then I can put a road from this here, another A. We've already done that. Here's a road right here. Here's my center line. Let's cut this off right here. My center line. I can put my cars on this road. This road can continue to go past here, and I can do another road right here, right in front of the hotel, or whatever I did, whatever that building is, and cars, 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 So it's really simple when you use your shapes. Don't look at something for what it is. And I'm looking around the room for something to draw. Look at it for the shape of it, the closest shape to that thing. I'm looking for something that's just, I don't know, my ruler, it's weird shape. But when you look at it, this can be just a rectangle. This can be a rectangle. And then you just cut it out almost like a triangle. That's a bad example. And you have your circle here. So there's nothing you won't be able to draw if you look at it in its basic, simple shape. And this is 23 minutes. So let's do a person. Let's do people real quick. So I've already shown you how to draw the face or the head tilted. However, you know how to do this in perspective. So let's do that again. So we have your V, right? And my V or my A laying down. If it's hard for you, just draw a big A. Then take this out. You can keep that in if you're going to do a building, but we're going to do a person, and I'm going to put that back in because I just thought about it. So something I do when I'm drawing people and drawing in perspective, if I'm going to draw a person from the front, it's different from the side. But let me show you this, and then we'll get into that. Drawing a person, there are three major shapes. You have an oval, you have a rectangle, and you have that upside down house shape. You already know how to draw a house. You know how to draw a house. It's V, or that A. So you have your house. So we're just taking this off. That's why I call it the upside down house. I try to make things as simple for people as possible. So we have those three shapes. We connect those three shapes together, and then we have a body. And then this is going to be your torso. You can either use the A for the stomach, or you can use a upside down, a U upside down. Whichever is easy for you. So if I take these three shapes and I put them together, this, and this. I have the body. You seeing this? If you're a first time drawer, you're like, I don't see it, Brian. And then I'll have this stomach. So go here with your collarbone. This is your arm. This is your leg. This is your collarbone. Collarbone, this is part of your arm. This is the head, which we drew. We can put the circle in there, the eyes, the nose, and the mouth, the neck. So you see it now, but just by these three shapes, you've drawn a person. So that's a man. If I did this, if I took a triangle, letter A, take it all the way down, and I take another triangle at the bottom, I'm going to draw another triangle. Let's say I'll center that, and I'll do another triangle like that. That's the female, 2 triangles. I can put the head here, kind of chop that off a little bit. Here's one leg, here's another leg, here's the arm, here's the arm. And it depends on how wide you make that triangle, but simple shapes you can draw. Okay, and we'll get into, or look at my channel. We'll get into drawing females later in the channel. So back to this. So we have this. Let's just say I'll do this. I'll do this. This is where my shoulder, just like this. This is where my shoulder is going to be. I'll take this. I'll make a letter A in here. I'll do my circle here, and I'll do this. Depends. He's got his hands on his hips. So you have a person right here. By doing something simple like that, and just circle for there, or oval for that, oval for that. That's a person right there. By just using this simple rectangle shape. Now, if I broke it down, I'll show you. Here's my upside down house, or you can say the underwear. Right here is where your waist goes, because that's your hips, your waist. And then this is going to be the oval here. This is going to be the stomach here, center line that. And this is a little short, but I'm just showing you the three pieces. This is going to be this, your delts, with your shoulders, for those who don't know. And then your arms. Your arms and your legs are the most easiest things, because all they are is just squares or rectangles or cylinders. The difference between a rectangle and a cylinder is you can see the opening. Here's a rectangle. I'll turn this into a cylinder by putting a circle here. And anytime you draw something that has 2 circles, this amount of curve has to fit that. And that's all that is. That's just your arm right there. So in the beginning, just draw your rectangles. And if you have to, put a circle for the elbow, and then draw another rectangle right there. I usually tend to draw a cone because it's easier, because this part of the arm is wide here and it thins out here. So if it kept on going, it would be a cone. So I just cut off where the wrist where the hand is, and it's that. Same thing for the leg. I'll usually use a fat oval, circle for the knee, and then another cone for the leg, and then half of a triangle or for the foot. It's very simple to draw. Look at my channel. I have so many examples showing you how to do this stuff. So if I did that again, let's make this guy a little more skinnier or taller. This is you have your collarbone right here, which connects to these delts right here, which centers your chest right there. Collarbone. So if I take this is going to be my collarbone. You have that center line, which just separates everything. So I'll bring these legs up more like halfway. And then I could put my head on. And then my arms. Remember that's that triangle. And I'll chop it off, and I'll put my hand right there. And then you have more of a more realistic shape of a person, and it falls on these 2 lines, and that's the thing. It falls on these 2 lines, and then usually I'll just put a foot. Let's just say put a half a triangle foot there, half a triangle foot right there, and then later on I can round it off. I can put a belt on them, because the figure is round, but in the beginning you start off drawing it flat, and then whatever, put some pants on this guy. And maybe a shirt to give him a neck. Let's do this in pen, because it's hard for me to see. Besides, I have all this other lines covering up. And I'll do a little half of a triangle for your shoulders. What did I say? Cylinder, triangle, chop it off. Here's my hand. Round this off a little bit. Here's his pants. And since this is below that eye line, remember what I said about the eye line? Where is it at? Whatever, the center line from that A or that circle is going to be your eye line. Wherever that point comes to, in that A or that V, this is where your eye line. So if you were there, all right, sorry, my camera cut off for a second. I don't know why I did that. So let me remember what I did. I kept filming for another minute or two till I realized it cut off. So as I was saying, if you were there, this is how you would see it. This line would go right there where your eyes are, the line of the height of your eyes. So anything you saw that was below this line, you see the top of it. So just like these squares representing cars, you're seeing the top of that. That would be the roof of that car or the roof of the truck. And anything above that, you'd see the bottom of it. So if there was something floating, or it was a square floating in the Borg cube, if you're a Star Trek fan, the Borg cube, you'd see the bottom of this because it's above your head. I mean, that's just natural. A bird flies, you see the bottom of the bird. An airplane goes over, you see the bottom of it. So, you know, a worm is on the ground, you're going to look down, you're going to see the top of it. So that's why they call it a bird's eye view and a worm's eye view if you're getting into comics. Okay, so same thing with here. You know, here's your center line, eye line. Here's your eye. You're not going to see the top of that building. You're kind of like in the center of that building. So remember, this is why I did it like this. You see the top of this, and you see under this. You're not going to see the bottom of it, but it's below, so you're looking down at it. So hence this. If the pants won't come up like this because they're below your eye line. Like if you stand up and you look, and you're wearing pants and you look down at your pants, your cuffs or the bottom of your pants are going to be rounded like that. You know, so that's the same thing. So this is at the center. This is a little above that eye line here. So this belt will go around just a little bit, which is just the oval. We didn't really get into ovals too much, but as I say, check out my channel. So it's going to be like that. Is your t-shirt right here. Put clothes on the guy. You put like some muscles on the guy a little bit, you know, little abs. And then detail is just observing clothes, like you have I don't know what they call that seam or that flap is shaped like that, and then you have some wrinkles or some wrinkles in your clothes for where you move at, and that, like I say, that's just observation. But using simple shapes, then you can draw anything. So in leaving, if I had any words of wisdom, I would say, don't ever say to yourself, you can't do it. Don't say, I can't draw, I can't sing, I can't write, I can't, because you can. How bad do you want to do it? Was it, I think what did he say? He used to make who was it? Jordan. I think Jordan said he would go out and he'd make like 1,000 free throws a day. Before he became big, he would make 1,000 shots a day, you know, when he was young. And because he just wanted to learn to be better. So if you draw like 10 pictures a day or 10 times a day or whatever, you'll be a great artist. If you play piano 10 hours a day, if you do that little soccer ball thing where they bounce it off their foot, you know, you do that for hours and hours, you'll be great at that. So don't ever say, I can't do. And if you have kids and they say that, oh, daddy, I can't do, I can't, stop him, because he's just programming himself to not be able to do it. So in leaving, that's the other one. If you are writing, if you can write, then you can draw. I gave you a bunch of different examples. So now you know that you can draw. And I'm just looking at this real quick. Furniture, doing a chair, you know, just using shapes, you know, putting somebody in a chair. Using those three shapes. Let me get a bigger. This might not right, but I'm going to try. using bigger, see, half of my pens are like dying. Don't ever buy ink pens or markers until you're ready to use them, because they'll sit there and then it just won't work. Okay, that's not doing it too. Where's this guy? This guy's gonna work, I know. So if I'm gonna do a person sitting in a chair, I'm using those three shapes. Okay, he might be a little high in that chair. But if you see what I'm doing, I'm just using the same things I showed you, these little simple shapes. He's really high in that chair. But if you look at it, you can say, oh, that's a person in a chair sitting down. He's high in that chair, he's kind of getting up. But you can draw just by using simple shapes. And just like I did this guy here, simple shapes, and then I just added detail. It was simple like that, and just added some details to it by just observing real life and how things go. Then you'll be able to draw better. It's kind of hard for me to like draw and then talk at the same time unless I'm concentrating on the lesson. So this guy's got a like nice little coat on. He's got his slacks on, coat that looks like a pajama thing. Anyway, once you have your basic, then you can add your details. And I said, it's just observing life, how something is actually made, and then you get more better at it. So I can dress this guy in Superman suit or whatever, Spider-Man, and it'll look better. But I'm a rambler. For those who don't know, I'll ramble at the end of my video, and I'm not going to do it now. So I'm just going to say, go back and check out my channel. My goal is to teach you guys how to draw. You know, nobody taught me. I had to learn for myself, and this is the way I learned, by looking at stuff, breaking it down, trial and error, and I teach that, and it's just like, it's very easy to do it once you see the little secret that's in drawing. And yeah, check out the channel. If you like this, if you learned something, give me a thumbs up, leave a comment, and hit the notification bell so that you can be informed of what I do next. I try to put something out every 3 or 4 days, and I have over 600 videos already on drawing. So go to my channel. It's going to be right here, and it's going to be below in the description, and then check out some of my stuff. All right, see you guys later.